I grew up also in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
you've taken yourself out of there. You've
yeah,
got a different business approach.
Yeah, I grew up in Amsterdam southeast.
Yeah.
And what they say about Amsterdam, it's a bad neighborhood. That's what they say. Yeah. And I grew up there. I left there when I was 24. When I was 24, I left Amsterdam southeast.
Yeah.
You know. So I grew up in a bad neighborhood, so I know how it works over there. If you would leave me there, I could just, you know, I could blend in. I really could blend in. But I also know the other side. And I took myself out of that environment, you know, and I chose not to do the same as some people would do in that area.
Was it kickboxing? Was it Muay Thai? Was it martial arts that helped you to get away from that?
It was not kickboxing. It was not martial art. No, it was my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she passed away when I was 33, but I believe my mom gave me so much in my backpack that I said, hey, I don't need this. I don't need this kind of people. You know, I don't need this kind of way of living. I don't need this kind of, you know, presenting myself. She taught me a lot, you know. I mean, the things that she taught me, martial art helped me a lot. Don't get me wrong. But what my mom learned me about my living style, the way I should treat people, that's something else. Yeah.
When should fighters start thinking about making money as opposed to just fighting for the glory? When should fighters start, you know, switching up in here, not just what they're doing in the ring?
Well, there is you start fighting when you're young, and then the only thing you will get is a small trophy and a lot of applause from the audience, and that's it. Then you work hard again, 2-3 months, you fight again, still a small trophy. This trophy will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But before you get your first paycheck, it's like fighting for maybe 5-10 years before you get your first paycheck. And if you see what's on the paycheck, it's only maybe your first paycheck will be 100, 200 euro. And then you're fighting for glory. Then you're fighting only for glory, because it's not about the money in the beginning. You just want to be the best. And there is a certain level that you will start to think, hey, it's not only for the glory. Now I have to make money also, because you have to pay the rent, you have to pay the, you know, you have kids, you have to think about the pension, you know. So it changed for me around when I was 32 years of age. Then it started to change that, hey, the glory is fantastic. That's what I'm built for. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to achieve. And I've achieved that because when I was 32, I already turned 3 times K1 champion. Then it starts to change that it's not only for the glory. Because people that are surrounding me, people from the bank, they will say, hey, did you talk about your pension? What are you going to do when you finish with fighting? You know, you already start to think about it. Yeah, they're right. You know, because after the fighting business, you still need money to do what you want to do. So then it starts to change for me. I don't know how it's for the other fighters, but for me, it started to change when I was 32. And then I changed my mind like, hey, it's not only glory, it's also work. I have to make money to pay the mortgage or, you know, to eat. There was a point for me that I had to make a choice. Am I going for the adventure? You know, or would I stay at the office because I was working in the bank, you know, counting other people's money. And I could stay working at the bank or go for the adventure. And I chose for the adventure. You know, I said, okay, I had a good contract, making money every month, no problem. I could do this until I'm 65, you know. But there was something inside of me says, hey, you gotta do this. You have the talent, you can go for it. So I chose to quit my job and says, hey, trainer, I'm here, let's do this. So, and then I started to train, and, you know, so I could train 10 times a week, you know, instead of 3 times a week, you know, because when you're working, you have only time for 3 times a week. So I'm happy that I had the choice, you know, and I could do it. When I left the bank, it was 2003, 2002, 2003, I left the bank.
Yeah.
It paid off because 1 year after that, I was K1 champion, 2003, yeah. If you want to be the best, you have to be selfish. And I will say you have to be selfish, because if you want to get to the top, you need your team, and your team has to think only about you, because at the moment that you're fighting and at the moment that you're training real hard to get into a fight, if you're not being selfish, you're not going to get on top. You need that.
Then how do you balance then being selfish as a professional fighter, where you don't neglect family, a girlfriend, boyfriend, kids?
And that's what you have to put aside. I mean, you don't really put them aside, but you're going forward to be the best. And if you're thinking too much about your house, your family, your everything that's surrounding you, you're not gonna get on top. Or you might get a little bit, let's say the top 5 or something, but if you want to be the best, you have to be a little bit of selfish. Yeah. If I look back to where my life started, when I was young, when I grew up, we weren't that rich. I mean, rich, we were not. We were poor. We were poor people. Let's say if somebody would get a birthday present,
Yeah.
I would get socks or a pair of underwear.
Yeah.
That's what my present would be. Compared to other kids in school, they would get a Transformers, they would get a nice car, a toy car, or something else, you know, something fancy. When I got to the stage that I was making my own money, making a lot of money in Japan, I was always thinking back when I would, of course I would buy nice things, but I always was thinking back like, hey, there was a time that I didn't have that. So I always respect people that are, you know, less fortunate than I was, and I will always I will never disrespect people that don't have it. I also had some bad experience with family, you know, when they see you as Remy and you're training to be a star fighter, in the beginning they were like, hey, why are you fighting, you know, it's stupid, people beating people up in the ring. When you don't go to their birthday, they say, you just have to train and blah, blah, blah. There is a moment that they will see you on TV and you're making a lot of money, you're being a star, and then they will go like, he's a champion right now. Oh, let me go ask him some money, or let me go ask him for some stuff. Then I would think back and say, hey, where were you when I was riding my bike, like say 15 to 20 kilometers to do an hour training and then back? You know, where were you when I asked you for a lift to drop me off or something? The bad experience that I had with some family members is for me also a lesson that not everybody can relate to what I've been through.
You mentioned about the golden era and certain names and so forth. Both yourself and Gerg's got something in common. You've been hit when you shouldn't be hit. And Badr Hari is the common factor there. Bob Sapp did it to you. He didn't kick you when you were on the ground. He didn't stamp on you. He threw a punch. And there's always outrage. And it's just like you get called an actor, not a real fighter. Do you have any theory as to why it was always you at the centre of such controversies?
I don't know. Because you missed Leko.
Leko kicked you in the balls, didn't he?
He kicked me in the ball twice in the same match.
And he was a bloody good kicker.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why I am the middle of that stuff, because maybe they are irritated, and that's what I believe. These guys are irritated because they cannot knock me out. They couldn't catch me, and at the moment that I'm on the ground, then they feel like kicking me. And the thing is, what I don't understand is, if you would ask the person that would say, Remy's an actor, Remy's an actor. If you play, let's say, a card game with them, well, 4 aces, you know?
Yeah.
Every card game has 4 aces. If I would play a game with them and I would take out the 5th ace, that would be cheating. And I'm 100% sure that those people will say, I'm not playing anymore, you're a cheater. And as soon as you're fighting and you get kicked in the balls, kicked in the head, or got stomped in the head, and if you don't want to continue fighting, and then you're suddenly an actor. The problem is not especially the fans or the fighter himself. Maybe it's even the referee, because in football sport, if you throw an elbow, you get a red card. They will send you off.
Yeah.
Why is it in fighting sport that if somebody would, you will fall down, you would stomp you in the head in the stand-up fighting, they will first ask, you're okay? You want to continue? Let's give the other guy a yellow card. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? No! If you give an elbow and somebody has a cut or, hey, red card, we're finished. Even if even if you want to continue, no, it's a red card, because in fighting sport we learn discipline. You have to be disciplined. If you're not disciplined, you're gonna injure the other guy, maybe for life. So if somebody falls on the ground, if you continue, they should immediately give the red card, no question asked. And if the referee says, hey, are you okay? You want to stand up? No. Then you will get people are talking, hey, he's an actor. They will say bad things about the fighter. The fight between me and Badr, that was the dream final.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see the end of the fight. So it doesn't matter if Badr kicks Remy 10 times when he is on the ground. They want to see the end of the fight. So if you look back at that moment, I got stomped in the head. I stood up, I was trying to stand up. Kakuda was walking around asking the other referees, what should I do? Mr. Tanigawa, the head of the CEO of K1, he was like, we have to continue. We cannot stop. So it's the commercial kind of thing, it's the money kind of thing. That's why they continued that fight. They wanted to continue that fight. If you have strict rules, and we had strict rules in the K1, they should have said, hey, this is not correct, we should stop the fight. And I believe if they had stopped the fight immediately, we had no controversy, we had no discussion,
There's one fight people still want to see to this day. It's that bit of unfinished business between yourself and Badr Hari.
Yeah.
Would you take the fight?
Don't know.
Why is that?
Fought him twice. Won twice. So there is no... The thing is, fighting against Badr brings a lot of...
Amniosity?
What's that?
A lot of heat, tension.
Yeah, a lot of. Because... And the thing is, if you're fighting against Badr, you're not fighting against Badr alone. You're fighting against a lot of fans.
Yeah. More than half of the world kickboxing fans.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you're fighting against him, it also goes into your personal life. And I don't know if I would take another fight like that.
When you say it goes into your fighting bad and the ring goes into your personal life,
yeah.
What, with the media attention or something else?
No, it's not the media attention. if you're walking around with your kids,
Yeah.
you don't want fans to say, "Hey, fuck you, you're blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, if someone, let's say, he's 12 years old, and would say something to you, you don't want to beat the guy up.
No.
That's 12 years old. So you're absorbing. It happens once, twice, 10 times. You know. And when you're working with your kids or with your family, you don't need that. And in that moment, 2008, I keep myself under control for not beating up a guy who's 12, 14 years old that said something bad about me when I was with my kids or, family or, because when they are projecting something towards me, it's okay because I'm there, I'm fighting, I'm taking the risk. But as soon as it starts to spread to my kids or to my wife, then I'm like, hey, I don't need this.
Yeah.
That's
understandable.
Yeah.
It's very understandable. He's just got a massive fan base, and that's the thing, people forget the word fan. It's short for fanatic.
And they go beyond that.
Obviously, you're going to be fighting your nemesis. One of your many nemesis.
Yeah, one of the many.
Not Badr, Melvin Manhoef.
Yeah. Well, he's a bit of butter. They were a team back in the days.
You're always getting asked, is this the end? Is this the end?
Yeah.
Through some
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
I think there's no point in me asking you, is this the end? Because you've been asked that so many times. And why should it be the end?
Yeah, that's maybe also an answer. Why should it be? I mean, the end is there, and when I'm, let's say, 80, and I'm looking back, then I could say, okay, when I was 41 or 42, then that was the end. It's better to go on until you know for sure that it's the end, and after 10 years looking back, then that's the end. So right now I'm training real hard to fight one more fight against Melvin Manhoef, and we're going to see what's happening.
What would you say kickboxing has done for you within yourself? Not this massive complex, which is your third one. Not the fact that everybody knows your name, and your name will live for the ages. What's it done for you as a person?
As a person, it gave me a lot of confidence. As a person, it gave me a lot of confidence. I learned to respect people. Not that I didn't respect people, but learned me to respect people of all levels in life. The thing that I'm most proud of is what I learned in martial art is never to give up. Wow. Even in some fights that I had, I could think back on the moments that my trainer would say, hey, come on. You've done, let's say, 15 rounds of pads and 10 rounds of sparring. You feel like you're tired, but you're not. I said, hey, I am tired. And that moment he would say, hey, let's say the whole building was lit up, fire everywhere. What would you do? Oh, run away. So you're not tired. He said, you're not tired. Stand up. Come on. Bam, 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 bam. So never give up. That's I think maybe the most important thing martial art gave me. That was never to give up your fight. Some people are overweight having a fight. Some people are poor. That's also a fight. Some people are in a divorce. Some people are in, your personal fights. Everyone has a personal fight, So, and if you're fighting against something, never give up, because at the end, you can say even if you don't succeed, you could say after that, you said, hey, I've done everything to win this fight, And if you stop before having the fight, you will always have in your head, hey, I don't know the outcome of the fight.
Yeah, that's how you have regrets.
Yeah. You always have regrets. Yeah.
Yeah, never thought that I could make it this far. Got a long way to go, but I'm this far. Who'd have thought that I could hit rock bottom? Come back and make it blow up like this fall. Moving like a rocket, no Chris Paul. Money in the pocket like this is all. Ain't no point in stopping till your bitch call. Matter of fact, got like 15 missed calls. As a kid, I wanna be like 50. Full of